Today we're going to do a short tutorial for IntroXL. Let's get started. First, you want to put in your user ID and password. If you do not have a user ID and password, you should contact your administrator. They can create one for you. The first thing you want to do when you log in the morning is check out a cash drawer. So I'm going to count the money, and let's say there's $7,144.68 in the vault. It'll ask me if this is correct. If I go to my vault, you'll see that that was all the money that was in the store currently, and it was removed out of a vault and placed into my drawer. Now technically you don't have to have a vault to use the vault, but you need some centralized location in your office that you can put money at the end of the night. So let's add a new customer. One thing to note, all the red fields are required. Anything in black is purely optional. I'm going to leave most everything blank, although we do recommend filling in as much information as possible. So I've got my first error message, and it's telling me the social security number is not valid. I think I have an extra number in there, so let's see if this helps. Okay, great. So I've added myself as a user now, and the next thing I'd like to do is give myself a payday loan. Now, this payday loan is set up to charge $15 per 100 borrowed. That is a flat fee, so regardless if you charge for 3 days or 14 days, the borrower is going to end up paying the same amount of money. Here we can select a date, and I'm going to select the 30th. I'm going to use cash as the funding method. The funding method is whatever you're going to give the customer when they walk out the store. You also have an option for check. At this point, you probably want the customer to create a post-dated check for you. You would take that check number and you would place it in here. Some states require that you place that check number on a loan agreement, others don't. It may help you to have it there. If you leave it blank, it'll just default to a number 1. And we're going to confirm this loan. Now, the last thing we have to do is to print our loan agreement. So we'll click that document, and this is just a sample loan agreement. It just has the TILA box, gives you the annual percentage rate and the payment schedule. You should have a print pop-up box that pops up. If you do not, you just want to come over here and hit File Print, and that'll allow you to print the loan agreement on a printer in your office. Okay, so we have taken out a payday loan. The next thing we want to do is, why don't we try and take out an installment loan? An installment loan is different from a payday loan because it's multiple payments, but you can also do different things like interest only or fully amortizing loans. Before you do an installment loan, you should always consult your state regulatory body just so you know that you're fully in compliance with the rules. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look myself up, and I just typed in the first two letters, the last name. As you can see, I've been added a lot to this demo store, but I will select this person here. And I'm going to give an installment loan, and why don't we choose $500? And this installment loan defaults to same day each month. You do have the option to create other frequencies like bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or every 30 days. But for this example, we're going to do same day each month. I'm going to change these payments to 6 payments, so it's going to be a 6-month loan, and I'm going to fund this loan using a check. Now we do get the payment schedule, and this is a principal and interest loan, so you see all the payments are exactly the same. And what ends up happening is if the customer does make their payments on time for the correct amounts, on the final maturity date their loan will be at a zero balance. Okay, now it's prompting us to print a check. So let's print a check. And again, we can take a look at our contract. Now the difference between this contract and a Payday contract is typically the payment schedule. This contract is actually 6 payments. The first 5 payments are all the same, and the final 6th payment is a little different. Okay, so now why don't we go back to our original Payday loan, and we'll try to deposit the check. In the event that the customer didn't come in on their due dates and we had to take the check to the bank, what you're going to want to do is come over here and select deposited. Once you deposit the check, it's going to create a transaction and close the loan out. If the check returns, you have the option to return the check. When you return, typically an NSF fee is charged. You have control over the amount of the NSF fee. That is in your store settings. So now we have this loan back on the books and we've returned it. Why don't we try to roll this loan over now? Okay, in order to roll the loan over, we're going to select cash payment with rollover. And we're just going to select the rollover amount, which is typically just all the fees except any of the principal. Now you can take a larger payment than the actual rollover amount, and what that'll do is create a new loan with a slightly lower principal balance. So I'm just going to take the minimum amount here and put in $75. We're going to get a little change box as a reminder, and now the system is prompting us to extend the loan for another 2 weeks. We can put a new check number in there now. We can hit submit, and when we print the document, it's going to give us a new loan agreement with a slightly different loan number. So you can see it's the same loan number with a -2. What that's saying is it's the second loan on the account. So the first loan was 1632-1 and the first rollover is 1632-2. Okay, now why don't we go in and take a payment on an installment loan. With installment loans, how they're different is that you have all these payments on this right hand side. What you want to do is you always want to take the oldest payment first. So in this situation, the customer was due on 9/5 and they're past due. So we're going to scroll down here and we tell you what the get current amount is or what they're past due. We're going to tell you what they're going to owe on their next due date. So in this example, the customer actually owes 111.07. That's because they're late and they have some past due interest that accrued onto the account. So let's say we just take what's due up until this point and the customer will come back in on 9/19. I'm going to take a cash payment. Let's just say it's for $112. We hit submit, What that will do is create a receipt for us that we can click on here and view. And the receipt basically just gives the itemization. It's something you probably want to give to the borrower. You can see the get current amount is 0 and the amount due is $106.64 on 9/19. Now one thing to note, this loan is still here on the home page and technically doesn't belong there. The way to remove this loan is we've got to take this payment and tell the system that yeah, the customer did pay this and we can take it off the list. Next we're going to finish our day out. We're going to check in our drawer and close the store. So the first thing I want to do is count my money. I'm going to take a look in the vault and I'm going to see in my drawer the full amount that I have. This is my balance. You can take a look at all my detailed transactions by clicking on that link. It's telling me I basically did 2 loans, did a rollover, and took a cash payment. So essentially my new balance is $7,026.68. I'm going to go to my drawer and let's say I want to deposit $6,000 to the bank. So what I'll do is in this drop down you're going to have an option for deposit to bank. I'm going to select 6,000 here. I'm going to hit submit and OK. That's going to do is it's going to put the deposit on a report. Now the money's left the store. So what I'm left with is $1,026.68. So now what I want to check my drawer in for is that amount. So I'm going to select check in drawer. Now when I check my drawer in, if I go to the vault, it's basically going to show that I did check in my drawer for that amount, and if I click on that drawer session, it's going to show that I balanced, and that's a good thing. At the end of every day though, you should go one step further. In addition to checking your drawer, you may want to close your store, and what that does is it resets the cash in the store so that the next morning you'll have the correct amount. We're not going to go through that option because that's a separate training. Hope this was helpful, and always if you need help, a help tab is right here. You can always issue a support ticket.